What's going on, guys? So it's a very early morning here in Harrisburg, PA. I apologize for not making any videos barely this week, but those of you that follow me on Instagram may have seen a post where I said that I basically sprained a ligament in my upper spine, my neck area right here, at work doing some stuff. So I've been kind of out of commission the past couple days. Healing up, still hurts a little bit, but at least I can kind of manage and push through a video here. But in other brighter news, my new key tags are now available from MotoLoot. The hashtag send it, red, white, and blue, with a little nitrous bottle on the back there. So I'll have the info below in the description, the link, so you guys can go check that out. I also have the other Guitarmageddon ZL1 key tags available for you guys as well. And of course, we still have the good old Send It hoodies available on the Guitarmageddon ZL1 online store. And I added the new Send It key tag there on the back of the parachute to hold the safety pin in, so that's kind of funny. I love it. The neighborhood's gonna get a nice little wake-up call here since my car is basically pointed directly out. Sometimes wonder if my neighbors actually hate me. But anyways, we're headed to Complete Street Performance and we're gonna retune this car. I originally had an appointment with Jeremy Fermato, Faster Proms. Couldn't reschedule, he was completely booked up. So a friend of mine, Josh, ended up recommending me to this place, Complete Street Performance. And they do some, looks like some pretty awesome builds, and they just got a brand new dyno indoors. So I'm excited for that. They're located in Westchester, PA. So instead of you know, filming this entire hour-and-a-half long drive, we're just gonna skip right to it. We have arrived now at Complete Street Performance. And there's that nice new dyno they put in there. Cool, let's go meet some of the guys. Andrew.
Hey.
Nick, nice to meet you. You are the owner of Complete Street Performance, correct?
That is correct.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about about your shop?
Well, I started this a while ago, 2006, 2007-ish. It started as a hobby. And I was tuning out of my parents' house and then my apartment. I had a lot of random people show up that I'd throw in the wideband and then go street tune the cars. We did a lot out of the house, and then finally we opened a location in 2010. It's just been pretty much skyrocketing since then. We moved into this shop a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And this is our new location, which is twice as big as our old location. This is Alex. He's our service experience specialist.
Man? How's it going?
Alex's job is to make sure that when you come to Complete Street Performance, that he makes sure you have the best experience possible. So he'll be in charge of getting you your quotes. He'll be in charge of scheduling, the pricing, basically holding your hand through the whole thing.
He hasn't held my hand once yet. I've been in the front door. Oh, here we go. Okay. 5-star rating already. Wait, I gotta film this. I just saw this off camera. Look at that. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's a true story.
Well, thank God I'm not married, because I guess I'd be getting a divorce after this.
And here's the shop.
All right.
This is where most of the magic happens.
It's a pretty big shop, and you said you're running out of room already.
Oh, yeah,
That's impressive, I'd say.
We were like, oh my God, we put one car in.
Yeah.
Thinking that we're going to be able to fit 12 lifts in here. We put one car in. We're like, oh no, oh no.
And you guys do mostly what? What do you do most of it? Like
just LS and the new LT stuff.
Okay.
Anything older than that, we're not really experienced with, and
right.
Because of that, we don't do the jack of all trades thing. We focus on
sure.
on a primary market and make sure that we're competent in that market.
Cool.
I don't want to dilute a good name, because I want to take a Honda on it.
Well, no, I'm anxious to see what my car will do on the dyno and what you guys can do as far as the tune goes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well.
Cool.
Eric is our shop manager, guys. He's a mechanical guru. He spots everything, as you know. He spotted on your car a little thing there, and he's also a tuner as well. He's as capable as they come. I would take him, you know, for any kind of business venture, by far.
So tell us why you have your earmuffs on.
What?
Exactly.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do a baseline on how the car came. That way we can see where we're at and what needs to be adjusted.
Awesome.
Make that happen.
Cool. Both ears at the same time. You got another set of those earphones. Alright, we're good now. Dude, stuff's like falling off the ceiling.
So, one of the things that I noticed before we even started is that the fuel trims were adding about 20%. I figured that at some point this is going to affect wide open throttle, and I was right. It was adding 10 to 13% to wide open throttle. And what we saw on the dyno graph when I get to pull it up here is that it ran a low 10 air-fuel ratio, which is just way too rich for this car. And I don't see the power, but if you want to go over to the screen.
Oh yeah, like way low. I mean, I'm only running 93 right now in the car, but still, that's way. I mean, that's way low.
That's like headers and intake kind of territory.
Yeah, right.
But so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the tune. We're going to make adjustments to it and get her right.
So basically, when I showed you guys the power numbers last time, it was like 570 wheel horsepower, which is way off, and it's running extremely rich. So that's why he kind of wiped the slate clean and started fresh. And he's going to see how this baseline goes now. This is kind of like this part 2 of the baseline. And like you said, once it's done with that, we're going to mess around with the power and see how much we can get out of it. So how was that pull then?
That was a lot better. We got a nice 11.5-ish air-fuel ratio going across the board.
Yeah.
You'll see, I see a hair of knocker torque down low that I'm going to get rid of, and then I'm going to try to bump up some timing up top and see how far we can take it on gas.
So they're going to do one more pull on just 93, and then after he dials that in, they're going to drain the tank completely of 93 gas and put in the E85 that I have. I have 15 gallons of C85 from VP, so that should be good quality E85 fuel, and then they'll tune it for that and see what numbers it makes on E85.
So on that run, we actually didn't gain that much power. We went from 623 rear wheel horsepower to 633.
Yeah.
With an extra 2 degrees of timing.
Right.
To me, that's not really worth it.
Yeah.
We're kind of getting to the end of the bell curve.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of those degrees out, and that's where we're going to set the gas tune up, and now we're going to go to E85.
Okay.
Once
cool.
I pry myself out of the car. It's a little tight.
Now you have to get out of a lifted caged Camaro.
No!
With a laptop.
My wife just gave birth, and I guess this is what my daughter felt. Oh. Woo! Right.
So I don't know if I said this earlier, but it was kind of funny because the car is literally knocking the dust off of the ceiling. Did you know that?
What's that?
The car is knocking the dust off your ceiling. I was like, wait, I didn't hit any bugs on the way here. No, that's just dust from the ceiling.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. You're probably the first one that's done that. It is loud.
You were saying how, so SAE is a different measurement than STD, standard, I guess?
It's just a different correction factor.
Okay.
It really has nothing to do with your actual power.
Right.
It's just a way to standardize it across like different climates, different dynos, etc.
Right.
And so what we're going to do is, since your old graph was STD, we're going to put this in STD as well. Right now you came in at 569 and 633.
Yeah.
And we're going to change this over to read STD. You're going to see those numbers go up. They usually read 10, 20 horsepower more. So it's 584 and 649 now. And it's the same power, uncorrected. Yeah. It just skews the uncorrected number to keep it steady across like winter, summer, and all different altitudes.
I was putting down about 670 on E85 last time, you know what I mean? So, but like,
yeah, and this is a heat-soaked run too. I saw in your previous graphs that it kept on falling.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
So like we're just running it one after another. So I usually expect, like, you get a cool run in there, I usually expect to see another like 20, 30 horsepower. It's pretty common. Right,
especially with, well, now we're switching to E85, so that's going to be a lot better too.
That's going to be helpful.
So you're replacing the flex fuel sensor, right?
Yes.
Because the old one's just not reading correctly, I guess?
About a 7% swing.
Yeah.
So this is like the old design from DSX when the theory was this would be a restriction of fuel pressure going into the engine. And,
yeah.
Of course, you're trying to run a lot more fuel with the 85, so that's a problem. Well, it's been disproven that this is actually an issue. This flows freely through that pipe, so bypassing it and trying to create another route that fuel can flow was useless. So we're putting a new one in. Right now we were experiencing some technical difficulties with the one that you have on it, that it was just fluctuating all over the place, and it should be solid even with this setup.
It looks like a lot of work for nothing almost. You know what I mean? Just a lot of...
Well, at the time they didn't think it was a lot of work for nothing. At the time we thought this was the way to ensure that you have all the fuel pressure that you need and still get a flex fuel rating.
Right.
And since then, people have done tests on it and found that it flows as freely through here as it would through right there.
Right.
So no restriction. This never needed to be done in the first place.
Right.
But back in the day when that was created, people didn't know that. It was a better safe than sorry scenario.
Alright, so we got the bottles all hooked up, everything's warmed up and ready to go. We're going to do the first pull on nitrous. So we're about to see here what it makes on a 150 shot. So I've been lying to everybody about my horsepower numbers. I've been lying. Let's see here.
10.3 horsepower. 10.03.
Is that what it is? 10 horsepower?
Yeah, 10.03 horsepower and 11.04 torque.
We'll move the decibel
over
a couple. Yeah, there we go. 1003 horsepower and 1104 torque. Good gain. One hit right off the bat.
Yeah, once we dialed in the nitrous fuel pressure, got that straight.
Yeah, right. So the fuel pressure was way high off the first couple runs.
Break up pretty damn good, but
yeah,
once that got sorted out, she's right where she's supposed to be.
Yeah,
awesome. Those are excellent numbers. A 150 shot to gain that much horsepower.
Yeah,
phenomenal.
So not only did it make 288 more wheel horsepower and what did we think, 370 wheel torque? What does that do to a good old LSA motor?
Well, the LSA rods have a torque limit, and this was one too many bald eagles past that torque limit.
Okay.
So it seems like they started to bend, and we have the rod knock where the piston is actually hitting off the counterweight of the crank, because the rod is no longer as long. It's bent slightly and the distance is too close. So we're hearing that right now. And
well, while we start it up here, and we can hear it and see what you're talking about.
No wind.
There you go. Yeah. That's really loud.
Yeah.
So you can hear it. What's on that side over there?
I think so.
Well, that knocking sound really is the rod.
That's the concern.
Yeah.
That's why we're not going to press it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, 150 shot definitely put out way more than 150 shots should have.
Except for the fact that we were not spraying 150 shot of nitrous. We were actually spraying a 300 shot of nitrous. Myself and Complete Street Performance were not aware of that at all. From what I was told when the nitrous system was put on the car and we did the initial tuning of the car, those were in fact the 150 shot jets that were installed. Now let me briefly explain to you guys how a nitrous system actually works. You usually have a few different setups, a popular one being a throttle body plate setup, which basically would require one nitrous jet and one fuel jet. Now this is basically what a nitrous and fuel jet looks like. They have numbers written on them that identifies what size they are, that correlates to the amount of fuel that you need for the proper nitrous shot that you want to run. I spoke to Nitrous Outlet, who I've been working with, very good company, and they're awesome to deal with. Jonathan, my contact there, explained to me briefly on how this worked and confirmed everything with me. They have a chart on their website that identifies what jet size is appropriate for the nitrous shot that you're using, fuel and nitrous jet. It also gives you examples of different fuel pressures that you can run with the system, which then correlates with the size jetting you need. Now on my setup, I have a blower plate setup. There are two nitrous jets on either side of the blower plate, and then right in front of them, or behind, I think it's in front of them, is the two fuel jets. When you pick your shot size, let's say you want to run, 100 shot of nitrous, you need to figure out what jet sizes you need for fuel and nitrous. So what you do is you divide 100 in half, which is 50, because you are using two jets. So you'll get two 50 shot jets. So that would equal 100 shot of nitrous. Now for my setup, this is what you would want to reference. This is a dual nozzle, dual spray bar chart directly from Nitrous Outlet. And you can see here for the 150 shot, a proper nitrous jet would be a 41 and a proper fuel jet would be an 18. Instead, my car was fitted with a 62 nitrous jet and a 28 fuel jet, which then equals, like I said, a 300 shot of nitrous. So this entire time, since August, I've been running about a 300 shot of nitrous on this car, not even knowing it. I'm just going by what I was told. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you guys that I don't know everything about cars. I'm still learning, and I usually put my trust into whoever is working on my car or whoever's doing the work, on my vehicle, or even if I'm, calling different companies and asking for advice. Obviously, I put my trust in them to tell me the correct info. And, that's what I did. And that's what Complete Street Performance did for me when they asked what jets did I have in there. I said, they're the 150 shot jets. And they said, okay. So what they did was they then did a kind of a pre-tune on the car, and the reason you have to do that is because you want to adjust it for the proper shot that you're making. Well, they were under the impression, as was I, that it was a 150 shot of nitrous, but obviously when we sprayed, it was a 300 shot, and that is an extreme amount of nitrous to shoot on a stock LSA motor. So it's pretty obvious of how that happened. I was obviously aware that the car was making an extreme amount of power off just a stock motor, but I was also, like I said, under the impression it was a 150 shot. And originally, I wanted to do 200 shot, just see what it could do, see what it'll take. And once I saw the numbers that a 150 shot was putting out, well, a 300 shot, I was like, wow, this is incredible, I can't believe it's putting out this big of a number on just a 150 shot. Well, it's not. It was a 300 shot this whole time. So if we would have actually sprayed a true 150 shot or maybe a true 200 shot, the car probably would have made around 900 wheel horsepower, 900 foot-pounds of torque, maybe a little bit more, and I would still have a car at this point. I would never have gone any farther than a 200 shot of nitrous on that car. That is just way too much nitrous for a stock LSA motor to handle. It's just ridiculous. So knowing that now, unfortunately, it is what it is, and what's done is done. I am very glad that it's in the hands of Complete Street Performance, because those guys are incredible at what they do, and they are going to make the car just a beast for next year. We're going to put a built LSA block in it. Everything else inside is going to be built to handle the horsepower. We'll still do the 300 shot, might as well, I want it to basically be built to withstand that shot. Right now it can't, obviously, because it's been a rod. They're going to be also putting a built transmission in it. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a turbo 400 or a 4L80, but it's going to have a trans brake, and everything's going to be built on the car. It's going to be a beast next year, and we're going to run mid-8s. That's the goal next year. So we're trying to keep it a stock cubic inch motor, just to build it up a little bit. It might be a hair over the cubic inch 376, but whatever, it doesn't matter to me. So that's what we're going to be doing next year. I'm very excited for them to be doing that. And I also have some big things coming for the 2017 ZL1. I got a pretty cool idea what to do with that car. Westy Speed Shop's going to be helping me fabricate some things for that car, and then we're going to take it down to Complete Street, and they're going to tune it, and that car's going to make some big numbers as well. So I'm pretty excited for this winter. Winter's kind of slow here, but we're going to make it as enjoyable and as entertaining as possible. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope I gave you a lot of good information. Those are the numbers that the car put out. It's pretty crazy to run a 300 shot for that long, I must say, and for the car to take it that long. You know, I raced it multiple times since August, and I put it on the dyno multiple times. Obviously, you guys saw those videos. So, you know, this was just the icing on the cake, and it made the most power it ever did. Over 1,100 foot-pounds of torque at like 4,000 RPMs. That is absolutely insane for a stock LSA motor. I don't think anybody's ever put a 300 shot on that car, so I guess I'm the only one that did it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's pretty funny. But, you know, we were deceived a little bit on the shot, and it sucks, but, you know, like I said, it is what it is. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I appreciate it. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're coming here for the first time, and have a great day.